ChatGPT is entering the workplace. Okay, don't freak out. It's not that bad, but there is a huge new announcement from OpenAI. Before we go any further, I think we need to build a bit of context. Make sure you stick to the end if you want to hear why I'm not that scared, but all of this is really new and scary, and it is important that we talk about it. For ChatGPT to continue improving, there are two things it needs. One of those things is more power. That is, more processors to run on, more efficient algorithms to allow it to crank through data faster, more just raw compute and power pushing it forward. The other important piece it needs, though, is more data. OpenAI has scavenged every corner of the internet looking for as much data as it can find in order to power its model to be as effective as possible. But that data isn't enough. When people are responding to a question, it's hard to know which answer is right or wrong. Like, obviously you can use the upvotes on Reddit, but even those aren't always accurate. OpenAI knows this, and rather than just blindly trusting all the data they collect, they rely heavily on the feedback and experience we have using their tools. When you use ChatGPT, you might notice the little thumbs up and thumbs down. Those are way more important than you think. They're using that data to improve the next person's responses. They're collecting every prompt you send and every response they send back and using all of this data to continue improving the model. So I'm bringing all this up. Well, all of this information's a big part of why you haven't had to compete with OpenAI in the workplace yet. Because in the enterprise world, none of this will fly. When we're talking about enterprise, we're talking about big business. It could be people selling medical hardware. It could be big companies like Facebook or Google or Microsoft. Even companies like Walmart have super strict restrictions on how they collect and manage the data that they have, as they probably should. Safe management of personal private data is a very scary thing, and these businesses have a lot of it. So it's important that they're as locked down as they are. However, being this locked down prevents them from using a lot of the AI tools that we're talking about. Because if they're using the things you prompt to continue improving the AI, that data is now part of that model. So if somebody prompts OpenAI with a question about their health condition and it gives an answer and they give it a thumbs up, now that data, now their health condition is, for some part at least, part of the model. And that security breach, that privacy breach, is a huge part of why we couldn't adopt the OpenAI models in our jobs. And that's why the most recent release by OpenAI is so interesting. ChatGPT Enterprise. So what's different about ChatGPT Enterprise? Honestly, only one thing. They're not going to use your data. They are now enterprise-grade security, fully SOC 2 compliant, and they promise to not train on your data anymore. That's a huge difference for the businesses that are in positions where they can't risk their data being part of a greater model. Everything from trade secrets and IP to personal private health information. Those aren't things you can risk getting put into OpenAI's systems. And thankfully, OpenAI understands that, and they've now built a product to keep things secure in those ways. However, this is a huge change in the incentives of these businesses and the role that they have. This is OpenAI kind of welcoming themselves into the workplace. Big enterprises are going to have more reason now than ever to start using ChatGPT, and they're going to pay a heck of a lot more for it just for these security and privacy guarantees. It's easy for an enterprise version of a piece of software to charge 100 to 1,000 times more per person than the competing non-enterprise version. There's even a website, SSO Tax, that just shows you how much more different services charge simply to have SSO. Those types of features are free to implement. They're seriously no cost. But they're put behind these paywalls because only big businesses need them. ChatGPT Enterprise was built to take advantage of these unique needs that businesses have and the large budgets that tend to come with them. I'm not making this video because the product is revolutionary. This is not a huge change. You could have had a lot of these benefits by running your own AI models inside of your company's own servers from these open source projects that are as good, if not better than ChatGPT in many ways. This isn't about the technology. This is about the incentive change, the structure shift that we're about to see in OpenAI. Because OpenAI is no longer competing on making the best technologies. They're no longer competing with other AI companies trying to make the best models. They'll continue doing all of that, but they're competing somewhere else. They're competing in your budget at your job. OpenAI is going to hire a bunch of professional enterprise sales to push their product and get more and more adoption of ChatGPT in the workplace, as they should. They built a product that benefits people in these workplaces, and they have something they're ready to sell. Part of that pitch is going to be you need less employees. The better they can justify the financial return of ChatGPT Enterprise, the more likely they are to make the sale. And with that, there will be more AI in the workplace and possibly less jobs too. I want to be realistic. There's still risk using AI at the job. There's some things it can't do, like subscribe to my channel. Seriously, why haven't you subscribed? I work my butt off on these videos. I'm recording this at 9 p.m. because I thought it was an important thing to make. Anyways, AI still has a hallucination problem, so you never actually know if the answer it's spitting out is correct or not. Some of the best models can still only hit a 60 to 80% chance of not hallucinating and giving accurate answers. And in the end, we'll still want a human proofing a lot of these things, especially since intellectual property is going to be a whole. I don't even want to think about it. Imagine being a business that has competitors that have a lot of info online that might be under patent protection. Now you're asking AI for help. Lawyers are going to have a really fun time with this. We are not. I still firmly believe the best AI isn't going to be the ones trying to replace people's jobs. It's going to be the AI and AI tools helping humans be more successful and be more effective at delivering the solutions that they're already creating. Be it a support agent replying over email with some autocomplete help, or an engineer getting some assistance modeling their systems, or even an artist prompting with different ideas before they get started on their work. There's a lot of ways these tools can help us do our jobs more effectively. But now there's a big company, a huge one, with a massive financial incentive to convince companies that they could actually let go of a few of those employees. I don't really know how things should change. I don't see my job at risk, honestly. There's no way AI is going to make compelling content anytime soon. Knock on wood. But this isn't about that. This is trying to start a dialogue, thinking about these things and how important it is that a company like OpenAI now has a financial incentive to replace your jobs. This isn't meant to be an anti-ChatGPT video of any form. This is just an interesting moment, and I wanted to sit down, document it, and talk about it a bit. If you haven't already seen my other AI video where I talk about why I don't think we're going to lose our jobs, I'll pin that in the corner. Keep working hard. I appreciate each and every one of you. Peace, nerds.